Well, welcome back to the Team Rocket podcast.
What's up?
What's up? Episode 54.
Is it?
50. Yes, 54.
Gang.
Gang, 5-4. I think since you have the our topic for today, I will check the weather for us, for you beautiful people. Today in Winnipeg, -2. Mostly cloudy, high of 0, low of -3. Yeah. Nice night out. It's not too shitty here yet in Winnipeg, but
Yeah.
But-
We had a little bit of a scare with that snow.
yeah, but it all melted, chilling. Not too much though, so it's very good. I think what a Popeye's chicken sandwich. That might be good.
You're thinking about it?
Yeah. There's anything from Popeyes.
Mm.
Sorry. Just to preface, we are slightly so yeah. I'm very much so. I'm feeling like my eyes literally look. It's bad, yeah. When I go upstairs later, I'm gonna be like, "Hi, mom and dad. Hello." Okay.
Don't trip on the stairs, yo.
Nah, I won't, yeah. I'm not gonna say that, you know. Yeah. Anyways, just so if you think something's wrong with us this episode, that's why. What you just saw there.
Something more wrong than usual.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Do you want a bubbly?
Sure.
Yeah. I have them all in my closet now. So it's like stacked. You can't see this, but it's like nicely stacked like it's in a convenience store.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why the boxes are still over here. Which I have to throw out. Anyway.
I'm gonna pour the rest of it.
Yo. Are you like, which liquid is that, yo?
I know it's this one, but yeah, I won't stain.
Okay. That's good. This is a nice sweater, by the way.
Thanks. I think you were there when I got it.
Yeah. I remember that. Was that with... Who's that with?
Giselle BJ Taylor,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
I always like that when. I always like hearing that when I watch mukbangs.
Oh, like the crackle of like
Of
sparkling.
like, yeah, some sort of sparkling beverage,
Mm.
and then followed by like a nice bite of food. I was watching this one dude the other day on TikTok. He had like this like Wagyu beef rice bowl with like a beer, and then like he like took a bite. Like obviously he showed it, and then like he took a bite, and he was like describing it, and you hear him munching. I was like, oh my god, that sounds so good. It looks so good. Then he took from this off screen a can of beer, cracked it open, poured it into like a cold glass, and then he like showed. You can hear the sounds of it and sizzling and all that.
Oh my god. Oh, that's
It made me jealous that I was eating McDonald's at the time.
Yo,
I was like,
not through McDonald's though. Not through McDonald's. Respect. Taking care of us when times were hard.
mm-hmm.
I might get some tonight. Just might get some tonight.
Or Popeyes. You said would Popeyes still be open? It's 10:34.
It might cut it close. It's okay. I'll go to Don's. I'm currently a McDouble anyway, so. Oh. Wow. Besides our dinner plans tonight, what are we talking about again today?
Well, we could. switch between different threads if you want.
Bet.
Let me choose. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so there's this thread,
Mm-hmm.
subreddit, sorry, that I follow, and it's like called "True Off My Chest" r/True Off My Chest, and like it's just like where people just like very matter of fact like get something off their chest, right? Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But anyways, someone posted like 14 hours ago saying, "My mom sexually abused me, took me to a brothel, and paid a prostitute for me."
Wait, there's nothing else to that?
Oh wait, oh no, shit. Okay, there's more. Oh my god, this is an essay.
Oh, I thought that's what they were. Oh,
Like this.
oh.
I'm gonna try and read it.
Okay.
This is my story. I grew up grew up in Muslim Indian culture. My father was a remote, cold father, mostly obsessed with his work. He was self-absorbed. He was a self-absorbed person, and he ignored me. This post is about my mother. My mother grew up in a wealthy family. She had servants and maids. My parents met at university. She married my father against her parents' wishes, so my mother was rejected by her family. My dad cheated on her numerous times. My mom just accepted it and excused the cheating. My dad couldn't have had given a shit about us anyways. He paid the bills and ignored us. He was never romantic or affectionate with my mother. In his eyes, she was just a cook and a maid. In my mother's opinion, a man needs to be overly aggressive and macho type of man. She thought I wasn't macho enough because I was too quiet, bookish, and a bit nerdy. When our mother son relationship became unhealthy, that's when our mother son relationship became unhealthy and weird. From a young age, she demanded physical affection. Mom would insist that I give her a kiss on the lips. My Muslim mother was very clingy and obsessed with me when I reached adolescence. My mother had no concept of boundaries. I never had any privacy. She would come into the bathroom when she knew I was showering or peeing. My mom was meek slash submissive to my dad, but quite authoritarian with me. She treated me like I was her husband. She grabbed my butt all the time. She did not close the door while using the bathroom and walked out naked and talk to me. At some point, my mother used to ask me to massage her on occasion. I gave my mother a foot and back massages and rubbed lotion on her feet and legs. I massaged her feet, legs, thighs, sometimes buttocks. She wore an old nightdress at home. When I was 14, our family relocated to the Middle East because my father could make a great deal more money with his new job. My father became preoccupied with his job and his new mistress. As I grew up, I became more manlier. My mother would compliment my body and leer at me. She gave sensual kisses and long lasting hugs. She praised me for being more macho. She started conversations about sex, masturbation, and girls and asked me if I was attracted to any of my teachers. If we walked past a woman or a girl, my mom would ask if I liked her legs or her breasts or if I thought she was pretty or beautiful. Then the messages became routine. I rubbed her every day. This time, she would moan and make noises during the massage. One time, I woke up in the middle of the night, and my mother was trying to fuck me. She panicked and left my room later. She told me she was worried that I was gay and I should lose my virginity soon. So we went for a drive and visited a brothel, a quiet house in an ordinary suburb. My mom told me to choose a girl. We went to one of the rooms and closed the door behind us. The girl gave me a blowjob and I told her to stop. I left the room and lied to my mom. I told her I had lost my virginity when I was 18, left home for good. I moved to America for college, and I have very little contact with my parents now. Holy motherfucking
Okay.
shit, yo.
Um,
First of all, I do not condone incest or abuse of any kind. That
no.
is fucking whack. And that's pretty fucking brave of them to share on here.
Yeah. Wow. That was fucking. Wow. Cause that's pretty high on the fucked up meter, yo.
Yeah.
That's not any. That's actually like.
Because that's like what? That's like grooming. That's uh, high key pedophilia.
Absolutely.
Even though it wasn't like, yeah.
Yeah.
um, Sexual abuse, emotional abuse.
The the line of trauma that's because like it's fucking she got trauma with the husband, and that's just translating to this kid who knows nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked, dude.
Yeah, and it's like how does that, like, I guess I don't even want to say culturally, but it's like where it's weird that it's crazy that like how when like as a parental figure like you can manipulate the life of like a young person through culture, because like she was like reinforcing that like this her behavior was something that was like culturally somewhat acceptable or like comparative to like the norm of women her age. Like, you know how he's saying like for like a Muslim woman who like was like more okay with like gender roles, and like was, and it was like he made it seem like it was kind of normal for like a mother in their culture, like
Yeah.
Muslim Indian culture, to be like overbearing and more possessive of their child,
Shit, right?
especially if you're your son, right? But it's like that's like it's like a weird where that sense of love switches, where it's like, whoa, what the fuck
Like
is going on?
that's
Like you go from like protective kind of like familial type of love to like a more
intimate attraction.
attraction. Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Sweet home Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah,
I just
fuck
remember the
that shit.
word projection
Mm.
because she couldn't get it from her husband. So, and her son was the next. Oh, that's so. Ugh. No, honey.
That is, girl. Something's wrong. Something's wrong there,
I thought
bro.
you wanted to use the button, yeah.
I would give you the world. Hell no,
Hell no,
yo.
not you.
Hell no.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, just do not condone. Let's move on to another one.
Mm-hmm.
Need to think of something else.
Okay. This one's okay. My male 20 male 27 years old fiance called off. Oh, okay. The person writing this down is a male who's 27, and he's engaged to a female who is 27 as well.
Okay.
So his fiance, the girl,
Mm-hmm.
called off the wedding and now wants to reconcile. I've been dating my fiance for 8 to 9 months. There have been differences in the families due to different cultures. However, I never let that affect us. Recently, both of our mothers spoke, and her mother told my fiance that my mother shouted, which she didn't. Based on this, she called the wedding off and told me never to contact her. I spoke to my mother and told my fiance what had happened and that my mother wasn't shouting. Now she thinks this thinks it was a misunderstanding and wants to resolve things. She made a mistake to even think about calling off the wedding rather than solving. Apologize for breaking up. Apologize for telling me that my ex, who cheated on me, was lucky and got saved from my family, who was too controlling. Apologize for blaming me and my family instead of talking. Uh, Apologize for all of the nasty comments that then followed. I'm heartbroken and my trust has shattered. My mind is too numb to decide what's right for me. I know she loves me. I know she cares. At least I believe so. But I'm not able to believe myself either. How should I make up my mind? What should I focus on? Should I try to reconcile and move forward? Fiance broke up because of her mother's twisted words. Edit. They say, thank you all. I wasn't expecting this to get so many responses. Just to be clear, she did not cheat on me. My ex before her did. Also, she had some issues with my family, and part of that problem was me because I failed to stop her and this negativity that she had built around it that led to this event breaking the straw. I should have been more stern. I shouldn't have listened to her ranting about my family.
Huh. Huh. 8 to 9 months, like entire, like not even a year of dating, and they got married. You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe take some time, bro.
That's pretty.
I feel like you're still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, that's
At month 7.
it's crazy that like um it was like the further you think back, like it's obviously there's still cases where like people get married like super soon after meeting each other. Like now, sometimes it works out for the good. Sometimes it was like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, like what were you thinking?
You guys are enjoying each other's company. That's great.
Yeah, that
No
doesn't
need to
mean
make
you
such
have
a
to-
big decision like that and rush into it and
Like,
without barely really knowing each other.
yeah, yeah, because it's your life right there, man.
And like sure, there's like more examples of that, like in our parents' generation,
Mm-hmm.
like meeting someone within a year, they're married, right?
Yeah.
And then they've been with each other since.
Mm.
And like I'm not speaking for like every single couple that has followed through with that.
No, it's just there have been.
Yeah,
It's just
there
yeah.
have been, and like there's more. It was more prevalent in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like I don't know, it was more of. I feel like my understanding of it is that it's like more of a generational thing, where it's like, oh, I find someone like this is kind of like what we're supposed to do. Like remember, I feel like we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Like, like that we're trying to relieve the pressure from ourselves of having to follow each of the quote unquote milestones that you're supposed to get to, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, graduate high school, college, job, family, kids, right? House kids, right?
Kids, yes.
And it's like, I feel like back then it was more socially acceptable to like, there's more pressure to follow that model,
Yeah.
or at least get to the family and kids part, because that's how you know like, oh, I've made it. And like whether or not the partner that you decide to do that with is someone that you really do give a shit about and like want to share your life with,
or was it just
like oh, we get along pretty nice, we both kind of like check each other's boxes for what we think we need to fill out.
Yeah, you fill in the blank,
but you don't really like actually like the person that deep, right?
You kind of just, it was kind of more so like oh, you were an achievement or something, or like, oh, you ticked, what you said, check this box.
And it's like kind of sad to think that like at least so like some of my relatives, like I can think where it's like, damn, you guys don't really like from what I've seen, like you guys don't really care about each other like that. You guys are more like roommates than you are partners, right? Kind of sad, but anyways, what does it have to do with this?
How did we get there?
Uh, person.
Oh, they're not dating for 9 months.
Yeah, they didn't take their time.
Yeah.
But like I said, like it just because like there was like a social pressure before to stay with someone, like get with someone quick and stay together. It doesn't mean it's like you're any more successful than a couple that
Takes their time.
takes their time and then gets married to someone,
For the
decides to
right
share their
reasons.
life with
Yeah.
someone that they actually like as
Yeah.
a person,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, you could have just got a roommate, right?
Got a roommate, did the same
Spend
thing.
a lot less money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not have kids, right? I don't know. Whatever you decide.
Mm.
But anyways, it does suck that like she like it sucks when like you can see flaws within people that you care about. Like yeah, like I'm talking about like reflecting on like how he feels bad that he didn't stand up for his family more when she talked negatively about them,
Yeah.
and like that kind of like harbored resentment built up so much that that point where that event happened,
Yeah.
and he said broke the straw. That was the final straw, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's tough when like you talk about people you love with someone else that you love, and then understand the faults, but then like knowing when to pull the line of being like
that.
okay, it's
that's not cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you're right, but it's like this kind of like disrespectful,
Yeah.
or kind of like
this wasn't the right way
mm-hmm.
to say that. Yeah. Interesting.
Like where do you draw the line for that?
That's so weird. I don't. Where would you draw the line? Do you know?
Like how did like if you were him after like this kind of like misunderstanding, like how would you make up your mind? Like what are you focusing on like after this happens to you? Like do you try and reconcile and move forward, or do you keep the break separate, keep the break final?
Fuck. It's
You
just
have
like,
only known them for like 8 to 9 months.
I think. Yeah, we have to. It'd be like one of those like go back to the drawing board type things. I'd give it. I'd try to give it another shot, but I don't know. It's also just like oh. But I guess up to this point, he was like everything was all good. It was just a matter of realizing more things. But if it was one of those like, oh, I didn't really like you before this. Maybe let's just not waste each other's times. And then I'd break it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, oh, I was like really like this person, and then this event was super left field. So like, if he wants to try and like connect the dots, then it'd be one of those together things. It's just I
Right.
guess it's a matter of like how worth it. Oh well, I guess you're asking me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
But you're like the only one reason, because like I look back on it just now, like where I kind of have like the doubt of like how she sees me was when she mentioned like uh uh apologize for telling me that my ex who cheated on me was lucky and got saved from my family who was too controlling.
those are some deep cuts, yo. Oh shit.
Like her saying to you, you're like, you know, we're done. Don't talk to me anymore. You know what? Your fucking ex. She's fucking lucky. She cheated on you and got saved from having to do with your controlling ass family. Like what? Damn. You thought about that's not like off rip, yo.
No, that's true. That is some.
That takes a little bit of history,
Yeah,
and like from a more of a personal space than it is like I'm defending my family, because like that's what like the pretense of this is, right? She's like defending her mom against his mom,
Yeah.
who apparently yelled at his mom, who like who knows, like verbal communication. They did say they were from like different cultures, right?
Yeah.
They didn't specify what their cultural backgrounds are. I don't know. I'm assuming because they're different kinds of communication.
Go.
Some a little bit more vocal than others. Some
Yeah.
a little bit
And this
more.
was over the phone too, right? I think it was like over.
So, or like they were. I guess it was over. They don't
Oh, I guess they
specify. It
don't.
says recently both of our mothers spoke, and her mother told my fiance that my mother shouted, which she didn't.
Because I was gonna say over the phone, there's some
I
barriers.
think you might be here called because she. The next sentence is based on this. She called the wedding off.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you're associating call.
Yeah.
But he doesn't specify like how they were speaking.
Yeah, but no, definitely the cultural thing. It's like some people are just talking normally, but sometimes they just. But the others, like, it's like, oh, you're fucking shouting at me.
It's like, whoa, why are you mad, bro?
Yeah. She's like, I'm not mad. Sorry,
I'm not mad. I'm just talking.
Tito. One of the Tito voice, you know. That patient that talks to me like that, it's just like,
Really?
yeah, this big thundering voice. I'm like, you're right here. It's okay. Yeah. Damn. Where did you draw the line? Did you say?
Like I guess like over those months, right?
Yeah. Fuck, I didn't even. Okay,
I don't know. I guess.
that fucking the X thing is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess for the drawing the line thing, I would probably, if it happens more than like 3 times, where it's like not the like there isn't like an immediate event that happens that prompts it, but like more of like a smaller thing that, and then she kind of goes off on it. If like that kind of thing would happen more than like twice or 3 times, I'd be like,
Okay.
what's your deal?
Yeah, like what's
Like,
this is not nothing.
like this is people that we're gonna be sharing most of our lives with to some degree. Like I'd expect that you'd get along with them enough that like we don't have to excommunicate each other.
Yeah.
Excommunicate ourselves from our own families, right?
Yeah, no. That's like that's important. So you can't that's kind of tough to work around.
Yeah.
Especially y'all be married and shit, so
Too soon, but I mean, hey.
yeah.
But like in terms of like the X thing, the X call out, I think for me, if I was in this situation, like say I didn't have any say with anything before like the 8 months before, I'm already at this spot where he's picking up and he has to make up his mind. I think I would keep the break official.
It might have to be that for me too, because I what's it called? Yeah, I forgot about the X thing. Yeah. But imagine like having all that resentment and those feelings for like years though. Like if they didn't break now.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And it sucks that like it all happened because like his girlfriend, his fiance felt like a sense of loyalty or like need to protect the dignity of his her mother, right?
Yeah.
Because like, and I guess in her mind, she could be looking at it like, wow, they're, God forbid, my parents. You think that my parents are like on a similar level to how I speak about your parents, right? And like, but my family's better than that, so like that's why I'm gonna defend them to this length because I subconsciously know how much I've shit talked about your family to you.
Yeah, like uncover it. Yeah. Oof. Oof. It's an interesting thread. What's this called again?
That one's relationship advice r/.
Oh.
relationship_advice.
Tough.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. What's the next one that catches your eye?
Mm, this one's from one called Insightful Questions. This one says, how do we work as a society when humans are inherently so selfish? So there is some biological reason to be selfish. Also, as part of being a social creature, we care about other people's opinion. I used to be so naive, thinking most people do really care about other things when in reality they don't. I'm not talking about the things happening so far away, people you don't care about. People are rarely happy about even their own close friends' successes, even they're not in the same line of work. Friends are insensitive about your misery. People are jealous when you do your work and talk to hide their lack of effort. I really looked into it to see if it's me not appreciating others, but I rarely harbor negative emotions for other people's success and tell them when it's right. Only within my family the feelings are different. So here's my question: how do we exist as a society and get work done when the most working member in a team is faced with animosity, a friend who may get company but also jealousy?
Sorry, I'm like processing right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
You said animosity,
Mm-hmm.
and then I spiraled, and I was like, "What does that mean? Why is that word so long? How?" And then yeah, oh fuck. Oh shit! This is what is happening to me. Can I read that? Actually, I need to read
Mm-hmm.
it. I need to read it again. Yeah. Okay. That's annoying though, because that's true. It's like
Right.
you get punished for doing what you're supposed to do, even if it's not the, or especially when it's not the most um, ideal thing or comfortable thing type thing. Hmm. It's kind of bleak, yo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the question is like, are they asking how are we supposed to get work done, or is it like asking
How to fix that?
like yeah, like how do we fix that going forward, or like, dang, how is this like is like, or is it more of like a search into understanding how
Oh,
this is a thing, you know? You know what I mean?
let's explore both. Hmm.
Because like the part where like people are rarely happy about um, even their close friends' successes that are not in the same line of work. Friends can be insensitive about your misery. People can be jealous when you do your work and only talk about it to hide their lack of effort. Um, like I think he's looking at this from like purely like getting tasks done type of thing,
Okay.
as opposed to like uh, interrelationship type of thing.
Okay.
Because like that's like a different spin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Because
No, that
like the
makes sense.
question that they say at the end is like, how do we as a society get work done? So it's like less of like an interpersonal thing,
More like just like
more
a
of like
literal
a
like
checklist.
checklist. We could call this episode checklist.
Because like people would argue that like we get good ideas or like we've advanced so far as a society over the last like 100 years
Yeah.
technologically because of like this the way we reward uh, greed or selfishness or competition.
Competition.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this uh, being creating this new thing or doing this thing differently than how other people have been doing it gets me more opportunity to have business or like commute or strengthen my community in a way that I feel more secure with my survival as a human being, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
if that kind of if innovating is rewarded in that way, then I can understand why like this constant like back and forth
Of like people
of
trying
like,
to
oh,
like
I'm trying to, I gotta
be
be
the
better
top,
than
be the
that, better than that,
best.
better than that,
Yeah.
but also like grow outwards is like I could see where it has been a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
but also a bad thing
Yeah.
because of like
In the wrong situations.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
because like
Again.
all the crazy shit that people do to
Just
secure themselves for
just to
themselves and their
outdo.
future,
Yeah.
just to outdo the next person beside them, right?
Mm-hmm. Man, the chase for more, yo. That's a spiral, yo,
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like that, like not being happy about other people's successes is like more of a like without it getting into like interpersonal,
Yeah.
like I feel like that's more of like an individual type
Yeah. With
issue.
like how confident you are.
Yeah,
Like yeah.
because like if you get people who are like buying into the idea of what you're trying to innovate towards, then it's not as big of a deal once you get people who buy into it,
Mm-hmm.
like the betterment of like that singular group instead of competing within that group. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas like if you have like this big group of people who are like oh we all want to make uh shoes that like are anti-gravity, like you can stick to walls or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like and if you have like a big group of people who like hear about it or like hear the idea of like oh we're all gonna try and work our way up to that,
Yeah.
like individually, like competing against each other, I'm sure that can create like a bunch of like hits or misses towards something that could become like the first model of anti-gravity boots, right? Whereas like you have like a singular company
Yeah.
that like splits everything, like all their knowledge and everything to better each other, and then would that like is that necessarily going to be faster than the more numerous competitive outlook,
Hmm.
or would it all
That's
lead up to
hard.
the same thing at the same time, or would it be slower?
I don't know. Like I want to say the company that's working together,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, like this is just kind of like I think facts, but it's just like that competition. That's that's a crazy driver, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I might want to even want to say competition might be like slightly faster, if anything. It's just hard because it's hard to comprehend because it's like one. one brain versus so many.
Right.
Because it's also the saying where it's just like, or just like, I think it's a saying or like a story where it's like one ox can pull this many things, but you add another ox and it like the amount they can pull is like exponential
Right.
because they're working together.
Right.
So it's just, I was like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess you could also look at it like, is there like, is is one ox that's being backed by a bunch of oxes gonna move faster than a bunch of oxes
like
at the same
racing.
level racing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Because okay, in a human sense, when you have everyone backing you, the only deadline you have is like, you know, kind of like whatever's like preset. But with the racing, it's just like, oh, if someone hit this marker this fast, then I can do the same if not more.
Right.
So then the bar is always raising that way. Fuck. I think what I can say for sure is that I think the quality of whatever the outcome is better with like the team aspect or like the working together aspect. But we're just talking about speed though, right?
Mm-hmm. Or like, I mean, I guess that's the justification of like which one is more worth, like, because like I went down this like line of questioning because it's like he was saying like how do we get work done if we're inherently selfish, right? But it's like in my head it's like, is it worth even debating or controlling that level of that mentality of selfishness if we don't even know if it would work more efficiently or less efficiently if we were more team orientated?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I started going down that line of questioning.
Oh, okay.
Because like I don't even know, I'm not even sure right now if
what's faster,
which one's faster, which one's more efficient. Like ethically, it's like, oh yeah, I would not want to be looking over my shoulder and like hoping that someone's praying for my downfall, because like that's not vibes.
No, that's not you. Oh god, that's.
But at the same time, it's like, can I really justify like being so against the idea of like pushing myself and those around me to be better? Is it really that much negative more? To be like, is it really that negative of an impact that I should be like cracking down on people who think in that mindset, or like something perpendicular to that, or like parallel to that? Like obviously, like I'm not praying for someone's downfall, but I'm like, oh, I'm seeing what you're doing, I'm gonna try and do that but a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right? Is like that like mindset that isn't necessarily to the extreme of like praying for someone's downfall. Yeah. Like, is that negative? Is that selfish enough to justify cracking down on that?
I don't know, but I yeah, when you put it like that, like basically, if you're gonna put energy into cracking down that heavily, like I think there's other things that are probably more important to crack down on than that, because in that sense, then it's like you're doing no harm. I can't see. I don't think it's worth it if it's in that sense. Because in that, I feel like that's healthy competition.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not taking away only moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's when it's like you're sabotaging people. That's some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like I don't think it's like a bad thing, but like he said, when it gets to a point of like where you're harboring animosity, and it's like how do we deal with that in like a society where we're kind of
That's how you're
like built on that.
built on that.
We're rewarded for that, right?
That's tough. Now that's that part I don't know. I feel like the only thing at that point is you can only really control what you do if you want to sabotage people or not. So I think at the very least, like it's like if I knew I did the right thing, like in terms of like getting to the goal like the right way, then at least I can tell myself that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like the freedom to be able to have that as an option is what I feel like is the gateway that we've allowed ourselves to get to really shitty place that we are in many aspects of our society, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, because I can get away, like, oh, I'm a CEO of this company, or like because I can get away with paying these employees less or whatever to get ahead of my competitor CEO. Like what's wrong with that if I'm doing it for my own like selfish ambition, right? Like how do we like it's like it's not necessarily something we can control.
Ambition, like
With like unless we like not reward people for innovating.
Yeah, and then at
while
that
also
point,
like
yeah,
punishing the manipulation or taking advantage of others, right? Like, but I guess that just like reflects on like our political system or like economic system. Like if we're like
yeah,
capitalist or like socialist or
this is a tough one to be high on. Yeah. I'm just gonna be straight with you. I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight. Also, there's so many big words, bro. You know those Burger Week burgers that are like stacked, like lots of stacks?
Yeah.
Yeah. These questions are a schmelio.
Yeah. Okay. I found this other one that I just scrolled on just now. This one's titled "My Sister-in-Law Thinks She's the Best."
Uh-oh.
All right, I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy here. For some context, my husband and I live with my parents, my brother and his wife, and their almost three kids. Sister-in-law is pregnant. So that's a lot of people in one house.
Yeah.
My brother works as a police officer, so his wife is left home with the kids a lot. Now everybody but her works outside the home. She used to cook dinner a lot, but then she got angry that no one was pitching in to help. Then started cooking dinner again out of nowhere. Now that she's pregnant, I don't think she has cooked a meal until the other night for a week or two. No big deal. It's just that it seems like she just keeps going back and forth on what she wants. Next big thing, the kids. I can't even begin to tell you the number of times that she has put the kids in the bathtub, a 2 and a 4-year-old, and then come downstairs to do something. Yes, while the kids are still in the bathtub. They're 2 and 4 years old. Everyone has said something to her because we don't want the kids to drown, obviously. But she just doesn't seem to care. She has also taken the older one to the library, about a 7 minute drive into town from our house, and uh, led the younger one asleep in her room. I asked her about it one time when she just up and left while the baby was still sleeping, and the response I got was basically, "I can see her on the baby monitor. It's fine." There have been many times where both my brother and sister-in-law have just walked away from the kids and went to go do something. My brother is on his phone all the time, never really looking at the kids, just ignores them. So incredibly frustrating. Granted, they have been slowly getting better, but given that they automatically blame the older one for just about everything and praise the little one no matter what, it's hard to sit on the sidelines. So my sister-in-law also comments about how good her cooking and sewing abilities are all the time. Rant over. Thanks for reading.
Holy shit! It was the cooking thing. I was like, what's it called? I can get it,
Yeah.
like the, especially because like the fact that like no one like pitches in to like help.
Right.
That I think, yeah, I get that, but I think everything after that was like,
Yeah. Because like even like going early on as like with the cooking thing, it's like she would go back a week and like start cooking again,
Yeah.
and then like go another week without it. And like if I'm me as like the writer is like thinking like, oh, like I'm going home, I'm gonna plan for my own, me and my partner's food, whatever. Or like,
Yeah.
oh shit, sister-in-law made dinner. Like, oh, okay, I guess we don't have to worry about dinner then. And then like say the next week you come home and like, oh,
there's
she made it like for a week straight, so like maybe she'll make it again this week.
yeah, and
Like there's no clear
nothing.
communication there. Like we're all busy with our lives, so we can't really communicate.
Yeah,
Or there's not much time, or like maybe there's some harbored animosity, right?
animosity.
But then like, oh shit, she didn't cook. I guess we gotta figure something out for that. So like I can see where that can become frustrating, but it's like a little bit more understanding than like the kid where it goes into like the kids.
Yeah, the kids are just like whoa, yeah,
like I'm not a parent, but I'm like, I would not leave a 2 and a 4-year-old
bathtub,
in a bathtub
yo,
full of water where they could just like slip in on themselves and
yeah, and the other one doesn't know what to do.
yeah. Or like even better yet, like sure it seems a little bit more harmless when like, oh, I'm the parent. I know how long they're gonna sleep for. I can go away for like a couple minutes. Like I mean like, oh, you're inside the house. Okay, that's fine. They're
But
asleep. You know they're asleep.
Yeah, but
The
you're
bottom baby monitor. But they're leaving the house, yo.
yeah, that you're 7 minutes away. Like, you see something on the baby monitor, there's no point because you can't get there. You can't get there for another 7 minutes.
Yeah. Say like they choke on like their own bodily liquids or something,
Or if
right?
they, for whatever reason, they fall out of the bed.
Yeah, that's like 7 whole minutes of like
Yeah.
where like lack of oxygen to the brain, where like a heart thing,
Yeah.
a breathing thing, a brain thing.
And you're not there. Instead, you're fucking rushing home and you're getting tortured on the phone. Because
You have to go to the library.
yeah.
Or
You couldn't take your baby with you. Like
you couldn't get an Amazon Kindle subscription.
Yeah.
Or you couldn't get Uber Eats or DoorDash. Like,
do they do library stuff now too, yo?
huh?
The fuck?
No. I'm just saying because like that's why I said Amazon Kindle.
Yeah.
Like you just buy the books or whatever,
Or just like
or like find online copies or something.
Just like you could have found some sort of alternative just to stay home if you didn't want to get the baby ready.
Put on Coco Melon.
Yeah.
On the fucking TV or something.
Something. Coco Melon.
Coco Melon! Like, I don't know. That's wild, though. And it is kind of, I can kind of get the vibes, like, when they added in she also has been bragging about her cooking and sewing, like, at the end there. It's like, it can get annoying. Like, this person is living with their partner at their parents' house, and also their brother and sister-in-law specifically who's being annoying with their 2 kids.
There, yeah.
It's like so many different family dynamics. It seems so like chaotic.
Yeah.
That I'd be like, oh my god, like I'm already stressed enough, like with my own personal living situation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, if I had to deal with that every day,
That's
that would be.
a lot of. Oh my god.
I could see where the relief was when she finished that saying, "Rant over. Thanks for reading."
Yeah.
URGH exclamation point.
What's that?
Is
Oh,
that how you pronounce that?
G.
URGH.
Oh, I heard it as UYOU R and then GH. So I was like, what's GH? Yeah, no, there's just so many dynamics. It's just like you have to. It's like tiptoeing in your own house, yo. Holy shit.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Wait, how long have we been going for? We have time for one more?
Let's do one more because I'm getting hungry. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, let me get a bag of chips to snack on real quick. Actually, no.
You
I
can
would-
get a bag of
no,
chips.
No, no, no. Okay.
Yeah, why not? What flavor is that?
Oh shit. Hickory barbecue.
Oh.
Yeah. What's up?
You first. You first. That's pretty good, yo.
Yeah, yo.
Okay. My mom thinks I am an extension of her. Growing up, my mom was emotionally abusive and neglectful, which led to me living with my dad during my teenage years and cutting contact with her. We reconnected when I turned 18 and started living on my own. I'm now 25. I've been through a lot of hard work, but we actually now have a healthy relationship and are even in therapy together. Sometimes she will admit to the abuse, only to deny everything later. This is okay with me. Like I said, we are in therapy and working through our shared trauma. She has a lot of trauma herself, and while I don't know the details, I imagine that her abuse towards me stems from how she was treated as a child. As she has become more aware of her own trauma and worked through it, our relationship has improved, and she has taken more responsibility for her actions. We were recently talking about my early childhood, and she said something that made me realize we were so made me realize where so many of our issues come from. She told me, "Your child is basically an extension of you, so it's really hard when they start to pull away." She said it like viewing your child as an extension of yourself shows how much you love your child. This freaked me out as, to me, this mindset is fundamentally the source of abuse. I felt dehumanized when she said that. How do I explain to her that viewing a child as an extension of yourself is not the loving action she thinks it is and is actually incredibly damaging? Uh, how do I explain to my mom that I am not an extension of her without ruining the relationship we have worked so hard to build?
Fuck. Oh, that's tricky because
Right?
like all that work.
Like after you reconnected for so many years, right? After so many years.
Mm-hmm. And it was she viewed as an extension or treated. Well, I guess that's the same thing. It'll lead to each other.
Mm-hmm. Her mom told her this, that made her realize where so many of their issues came from. And her mom's quote to her was, "Your child is basically an extension of you, so it's really hard when they start to pull away." When I first read that, I thought it was like the therapist talking to them, but then it's actually just a conversation between her and her mom, and her mom telling her that.
Her expectation of kids.
Yeah. So like viewing your child as an extension of yourself shows how much you love your child. So like that made her freaked out and realized that that's like where the source of her mom's abuse towards her comes from, because in viewing her mom viewing her as an extension of herself, it's like she no longer has like, in her mom's mind, she doesn't have say over her own like
destiny,
life or her destiny, right?
Yeah. It's just
her
like
own
projecting.
voice. It's like, oh, this is part of me.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is not a person. It's not my child. It's like part of me, right?
Not even
objectified,
like,
right?
Objectifying, like basically like taking away like your right to an identity, basically. Well, not your right, but like you know.
How do you tell them? How do you tell your parent that viewing, like how do I tell my mom, like viewing me as an extension of yourself isn't as loving as you think it is, and is actually damaging towards me, because like knowing the history, part of the history that they've been through.
Mm-hmm.
How would you go about how would you go about explaining this to her?
Like, I feel like the first thing that comes to mind would be like, how would you feel if you were only someone else's, a projection of someone else's thing? How would you feel if you were in this position?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, maybe in that time, that was a cultural norm. I don't know. I just have, in general, I don't know how to word it yet, but I'd start off with the put in your shoes type thing, or put in my shoes type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just so at least there's perspective. Well, I don't know. How would you do it?
I don't know. It's hard because it's like it's. I feel like in this person's case, it would be a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the mere fact that her mom is willing to, I mean, I don't even know if this person's the gender of this person. But
Wow.
anyways, like I don't even know, like if I'm putting myself in the perspective of the reader, like I don't even know what she thinks about that, right? Like if she's open enough to be doing therapy and be doing it with me.
And do you think you'd be able to talk about that, right?
Yeah, I feel like it would be like as the mom,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be like a little bit embarrassing. Like my pride would get hurt a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it would also be like, if I am willing to go through this process with my daughter or with my kid,
this is like something you'd expect to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
you should be okay.
Like I should be going in knowing that like some things that I thought before are gonna be rattled or like challenged.
Mm-hmm.
For the good.
Oh yeah. Change for the good.
Maybe like if this is something that did bother me that much, I think the next time we have like a session together, I would bring it up.
Yeah.
and see how the therapist guides us through that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, having therapy, like you're already going to therapy, so I feel like that's getting to that hurdle is even harder than bringing that up in therapy because the therapist was probably the best because at least they're viewed as neutral and not biased.
Yeah.
So then that'll definitely help the situation too. You can finish it, bro.
Oh.
You're good, bro.
Those are very good.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, if they're already at that level of therapy, then this is almost just like another question. Then, yeah, or like another question that whatever they talk about in therapy. I mean, yeah, another subject. Yeah, another subject.
I think I would just be careful not to bring it up in person, like without like the therapist, like outside of a session, just because that seems like that's a whole can of worms that could unlock for my mom, right?
Yeah, no, that would be.
And like I don't know where that could lead or like how I would be able to navigate that
without
it becoming like defensive and then an argument, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd have to start off with a therapist.
Yeah, but at least they're already on a good footing.
Yeah, that's a good start. Like I haven't heard of like families going to therapy together, so that's already super proactive.
And not cheap, so that's a commitment.
Yeah. Oh. Slurp you. I think we should do this again. I just need to be less high. Or not high. Anything you want to leave off the audience with?
Don't mind the bag crackling. I kind of like the sound of it. I hope you guys don't mind it or also enjoy it to some degree. What else is there?
Nice.
Attack on Titan had its series finale last weekend.
Is it done, or is it just for the season?
It's done.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's like the last two parts that have released were like movie lengths.
Oh, fuck.
But it was like 4 episodes, pretty much. Just like released all at once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways.
How many seasons are there? 5?
Technically 4. But like, because of the way like the production work going into COVID, they announced like the 4th and final season during like COVID.
Yeah.
But then because the manga artist was like just finishing the story for them to adapt, and because the amount of detail and work it would have that it took for them to animate it and get it into production was longer than they thought. They ended up splitting up the 4th and final season into like 4 different parts. So like there's final season, the first part, final season part 2, and then final season part 3. Which was, and part 3 was broken up into 2 parts that was released this year. So people were like, what the fuck's going on with this part 76
It's
out
just
of
like it's just never ending, I guess.
and then like at the like later on they eventually like at part 3 they changed the name to like final Attack on Titan the final chapters 1 and final chapters 2.
Also, it wasn't even called 3 and 4.
No, well technically it was, but then I think
Okay.
they just changed that a
The
little bit.
naming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was like because people were memeing it so hard, like part 1 out of 78 of the final season, maybe.
I would have memed it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Anyways, have you heard of?
Attack on Titan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I watched a couple episodes. I just never get into it. I'm pretty sure the first scene I ever saw was one of those gory ass scenes. It was just like this big naked giant, and then I saw blood and shit. And I was like, well, what did I just watch? So, yeah, I think I need to start from the beginning. And then
Well, how long ago was that?
a lot years ago. Yeah.
There's some good websites that you could use,
Okay.
or like I think part of it's on Netflix now
Okay.
or Crunchyroll. But yeah. Anyways, if you're ever interested, I can find you sources. But
Hey,
yeah,
speaking of Netflix, The Last Airbender is gonna be on.
oh, I heard next
Yeah.
year.
That's
Next
kinda
fall?
sick. I didn't watch the full trailer, but we'll watch it after we cut the camera so we don't get copyright yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit more hopeful for that one. I think. I heard the the casting is obviously more genuine for like the cultural backgrounds or
Right.
like the assumed cultural backgrounds of the characters
Yes.
and like age ranges,
Okay.
right, ethnicities,
Mm.
and it seems like there's a more care put into it compared to the last live action
Okay.
adaptation.
That's good.
Where it's like some white boy and then he pronounced his name Ong. But yeah. Anyways, I'm excited for that one. That One Piece adaptation went really good as well.
I didn't watch it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either, but
And that's what's one of the mangas I actually read too. Yeah. So I might actually be into that one.
yeah.
should
And
watch
then
it,
like
yeah.
if you watch it, and then when you watch it, you might want like I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, this is like a good gateway for me to like
Get
be
into-
more invested into the anime."
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, you might have to watch.
Especially since the actors for like Nami and Zoro are fire, yo.
In One Piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember
I'm.
Zoro's the sword guy. Like he is a guy with the 3 swords, green hair.
Yes.
And he's like the actor that they use for him is like this like Japanese actor who like does his
Oh.
own stunts and like
Oh
and
shit.
he's pretty cute, yo. And then the girl who plays Nami, the ginger pirate girl.
Okay.
The actor for her is like actually IRL like a big anime fan, like and a One Piece fan.
Oh, she just fucking lived her dream then.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
then-
fucking awesome.
and then like and she's fire and
Yeah.
she's playing a charming character, so I'm like, oh, interesting.
Damn.
Yeah.
Living the dream, yo. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and they got to meet like the manga artist because he was saying apparently I saw this like quote from an article saying how like the manga artist like wanted to make a live action version
Mhm.
but didn't want to until like the technology was like good enough that like portraying the characters didn't look goofy because like
Yeah.
the way like I like from the very little I know of One Piece, like his character designs look very like funny, like outlandish, but like almost like in like a very thoughtful way that's like caricatures
Yeah.
of like specific emotions that like the characters might be going through. But like it looks very like exaggerated, but still like not chaotic.
Yeah. Like intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like especially some of like the bad guys and villains and stuff.
Mm. I remember the. No, that makes sense from what I remember from
Yeah.
reading the manga.
But like, anyways, he was like really hands on with like
That's so sick.
the process, because like
Yeah.
that was like one big fault to like a lot of these like live action adaptations,
Is
like,
that they're just kind of going off the book and not the
Yeah.
actual person who made
like the
it.
Death Note one, or like the Attack on Titan one, or like the Full Metal
Oh.
Alchemist ones that were just like completely butchered and
Like,
like written
someone-
by someone who like doesn't care about the source material but cares about like, oh, this is like the general idea of the story, okay, we'll do this, and like because I'm like a hired professional director or writer, like I'm gonna write it how I think it'll
So
make
they just
us more money,
yeah.
right?
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. But okay. Definitely want to check out the One Piece one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just watch that instead of. I do want to watch a creator though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's showing anymore though when I look.
Fuck.
We'll know by Monday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess we'll just do it tomorrow, yo. Just joking. Oh. Damn. Well. On that note, check out the anime. We'll do this.
Check out Attack on Titan.
Yeah. And One Piece.
One Piece.
What else did we talk about?
Don't be emotionally manipulated to be abused by people you love, or
Yeah.
put up with people who talk shit about people you love, or don't let your uncomfortability with a situation be the one thing that stops you from protecting the life of someone who can't defend themselves.
How are you remembering all of this? How are you superhuman right now?
That's
And I feel like sack
the
of shit.
power of bubbly, yo.
I had two, and I'm not functioning.
Yeah, and watch Attack on Titan.
Perfect. Well, that was hour 18. Okay, not bad. Well, on that, we will see you next time.
Yeah.
I will not be this high because a little too much. Anyways, peace, yo.
Peace. Hopefully you're tracking.
Who, me or the